There is a world beyond yours. Beyond nations, justice, ethics. It never sleeps. It exists everywhere. And once you enter, there is no going back.
The game is called Hitman. It's about Agent 47. He's back in his absolute prime. He's working with Diana in the agency, and he's going to take out high-profile targets across the world.
Victor Novikov's business.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
We really feel that the essence of the Hitman experience is this feeling that you can be creative and play around in a large sandbox on your own terms, basically. So now the chess becomes a little bit different, because we want players to have that feeling. We have fans that come back to us. We obviously we have people in playing our game and giving us feedback constantly, right? And one of the things they tell us is it was one guy who said it like this: the feeling of mastery you get when you know where everything goes in a Hitman level, in a huge level like this, and you can lay out your perfect plan and then you execute it, and it's there. That feeling is unlike anything you can get in any other game. That was what he said, and I think that's so aspirational. And then the question becomes more, how can we help other players get that experience? But I don't think you do that by simplifying the game, because the nature is that the beauty lies in the complexity and the creativity you need to have to master a level. In terms of where the story takes place, that's sometime after Absolution, actually. But what we're doing with the entire universe, let's say the universe in general feels a little bit more mature, a little bit more high stakes. All the targets are a little bit more high profile. And what we said is basically, we need an Agent 47 that feels like he's in his prime, he's at his absolute peak. So we looked at it more from that perspective. And we don't concern ourselves as much about age per se, because at the end of the day we don't want Agent 47 to turn 89 at some point, you know what I mean? So we sort of felt we would hone in on a point in time in the universe where we create this space. We say, okay, this is the world, these are the players in that world, and in this world 47 is in his prime. He's working with Diana and the ICA, and they're at the peak of their power, because it allows us to do some pretty cool things with, who is he actually going against and what can you do in a level.
Wait, is that a no, Dennis?
Best, worst.
Just deny me something? Because I do believe I pay you to manage my career.
We feel in this world we're trying to create here, 47 doesn't really have one place. We have this feeling, and at least in my interpretation of it, it feels almost like he's always in transit. He's always traveling somewhere, and the ICA are pretty powerful, so they will have resources for him wherever he goes. If we have a level and we embrace this feeling that this is a live thing, you feel like you're playing it with a Hitman community. This idea that, let's say in Paris you have a target appearing over a weekend or something like that, and all we give you is a portrait, and this target hasn't been there before. That's something we can do with the new engine, right? There's just a target appearing, and now everyone will have to try to work together, figure out, okay, where is this target, what is the target doing, and then the thing is, obviously, after 48 hours the target is gone again, so there's a little bit of time pressure, and the way you kill your target is the only way it's going to be. You can't replay it. If the target escapes, he's gone. So we expect that, a lot of the super pro players will attack head on, try to be the first maybe, to actually deal with it. Others will start doing Twitch feeds and showing what they're doing. And if you're a little bit more like a normal gamer like me, you're probably going to look at some of that stuff and say, okay, I think I'm going to do it like that. But even then it will be exciting, because when I'm doing it, I have this one shot, right, where if it fails, then that will be what it is. Or if I succeed, it's just all this freedom. So it's just this feeling. And then if on top of that, you're thinking, okay, but everyone is then looking forward to we're in Paris, and then another level is going to appear. Everyone can start feeling hyped about that, discussing what it will be, and when it goes live, a lot of people will be playing it together, debating, what's going on in the level, what can I do, and we really like that feeling for the game. That's our plan, and we want to see how people play the game and have their feedback on it. And the thing is, it's a live development, right? So we can actually also reflect on that. In Absolution, for instance, there was some feedback on the disguise system, especially in the beginning. We had to go in and create a patch, and that's something that made us think, hey, we actually want to be able to react on whatever happens in the game, basically. Our ambition is to say we are going to take our legacy, our DNA, and then we want to create the best possible Hitman game out of that. Yeah. And actually, I think we can see a lot of inspiration from a lot of different elements in these games. Blood Money has huge sandboxes, right? And it has a promise that every mission is going to be a hit. That's how it starts. You're there as a hitman, and how you take out your target is what the mission is about. And we really like that idea. From Silent Assassin, we really like the tone. There was a good tone in that universe, sort of a little bit more, let's say things were a little bit more high stakes and you travel the world, which we also really like. And from Absolution, we actually really like the living world we built. You know, a lot of NPCs talking, stuff we hadn't done before. You could actually listen to what they're saying and try to figure out what's happening in the world. And we also felt we had a game that actually played quite nicely. I mean, between stealth, combat, and controlling the game, that felt like a really good starting point. So it's actually I would say it's the best parts of these games that we try to put together when we create Hitman, right?